In today's episode, we tidy up some loose ends around the park. I'm Mostly Average Matt, and this is Planet Coaster Harder Mode. Hello and welcome back to the Challenge Park, the Mostly Average Park. I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank all the subscribers. It is great to be back. If you followed any of my other series going on, career mode or Hackberry Hills, or if you follow me on Twitter, you'll notice that I was on vacation. I was out in Dollywood, so it was good to be back. Unfortunately, right when I got back, I got very sick, so I wasn't able to record anything. So, surprise, here I am. Only missed a week. I do apologize for that. Hopefully, we'll be able to fix that in the future and not have that problem anymore. But yeah, make sure you subscribe to or follow me on Twitter, because that's where I put out the most up-to-date information about what's going on with me if I'm going to miss an episode or miss a day or something like that. That's where you're going to find me, so that's the best place to follow me. Also, make sure you subscribe by clicking that bell, because then you'll get those notifications when I do upload a video. But I am pretty regularly posting stuff every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. But enough of what's going on with me. Let's talk about the video. So in this episode, we are tidying up some loose ends here. We start by focusing on the entrance area right over by the entrance to Bubbles Playground. And we just start working on adding like a administration first aid building. If you remember from a couple episodes, we had a lot of people that were stepping in sick, and most people were stepping in sick. So I wanted to make sure we got in a first aid, and I thought this was a good place to do it. It wouldn't be somewhere that's in a high volume area, something that if someone needed to go to it, they'd have to go a little bit out of their way to get to it. So I thought this area was a nice area that we could just fit this in, and we needed something else to fit here. Otherwise, I originally had planned a restaurant there, but once I put in Chops over by the go-karts, that didn't really make much sense anymore. Plus, we were losing a lot of money on Chops, because I don't know what I'm doing with restaurants. So if you know anything, make sure you leave in the comment section. But overall, I thought this building turned out pretty nice. The reference picture I had, it's a little reversed from what the final product comes out to be, but it had a lot of glass on it, so I was trying to simulate it. It had like this bluish reflection to it, so that's where that color comes from. And the color itself was actually more of like a tan on like the places that weren't glass, which I did do that a little bit, but you can't really see it all that well. You can see a hint of it, but I think it was just the right amount. There's also this brick section on the side of it that I thought added some nice dimension, so I figured I'd throw in a restroom there, because you can never go wrong with having too many restrooms. It's right over by our security command staff building, if you will. And excuse me for a second. I am still getting over some of my cold, so every now and then I'm gonna have to flip my mic up so you don't hear any part of me being sick on this. I'll do my best to mask it, but yeah, so I put in some custom windows so you can see this offsets and you don't have them just like jutting out over everything. I think they turned out really nice, and they look even better once we get the top portion on here. This top portion in the reference picture I had looked more to be of metal than of wood, but I thought the wood gave off the better vibe with it. So we can pretend that it's metal if we want, but overall I thought it was really nice, especially with a little brick overlay in the front here as well. So yeah, there's not much more to talk about this video. So I'm going to talk about some of my vacation, or not the video in general, but this area of the build. So we did go to Dollywood. And Dollywood is a great park. We stayed over at the Dreammore Resort, which is their like on-site hotel, which is very nice. We had a great time. Everyone was social distancing. For the most part, every now and then you'd find some people or someone that was wearing a mesh mask or something, but I don't want to get into too much of that. But I am a really big fan of some of the rides they have up there. Lightning Rod, of course, is fantastic. We rode that maybe about 4 or 5 times because there's no one at the parks at the moment. Wild Eagle is great. Really, Fire Chaser Express is fantastic. And Dragon Flyer, for being a kid's coaster, that thing has some whip to it. So there's a lot of inspiration that I'm getting out of Dollywood, and you're probably going to start to see it in some. I know I had some show in the career mode episode that I recently released over in the King Coaster scenario. So I'll put a card up in the top right corner for you to check that out if you are interested. But the food there, when you go to Dollywood, the food is where it's at. And we found a great place inside the Dreammore Resort called Hearth and Song, something along that line, and it was phenomenal. We ate there every single night. Their menu changed a little bit every night, so it wasn't the same stuff over and over again, but it was really good. I really recommend going to Dollywood if you get the opportunity to do it. So we are just going back to what's actually on the video. We are finishing up on the back side where we just kind of put in some place filler stuff, finish up the roof a little bit. Looks kind of bland right now, but once we get into letters, we add in the trees around it, kind of fills it in, makes it look a little bit more realistic. So I'm really happy with the way it came out. One thing, I didn't really focus on the back side of the building, and that is because there's just no reason. I can't build anything else over there, so I left it with just basically plain windows. I think I did duplicate the windows that I made, but nothing too crazy. Also, putting this little footer here, I don't know what you would call it, foundation if you will, I think that adds a nice depth to the building itself. So yeah, we do a little bit of lighting. Forgot that I did lighting. We don't see that at all in the live portion, but that's because we are planning on doing something even better with the live portion. I've seen a lot of people with their parks that are going on right now, like Coaster Monkey, Nerd Chacho, all these really great creators that are not necessarily starting up, but haven't necessarily been in the Planet Coaster community all too long, or creating videos in the Planet Coaster community, and they're all getting to the point with their parks where they're starting to release the park in phases. So being a challenge park, I wanted this to be a little bit different. So we're gonna still release the mostly average park but we're gonna release them in seasons, and we're gonna do it in the way that we're gonna kick everyone out of the park. Hopefully we'll be able to walk around at that point, and we'll shut all the rides down, we'll close everything. I think at the end of this video we have like $430,000. We clearly don't need anything else. Oh, by the way, if you've been following, you know the scissor in the mostly average park was glitched out. I tried to fix it earlier in the video, it didn't work. I got really annoyed with it and went back and actually fixed it. So we completely took out the scissor and put a new one in. And here's the actual successful attempt at doing it. So I had more issues with the path than anything, and I just didn't want to have to mess around with any of the curbing. But so basically what we're gonna do, we're gonna shut down the park completely, get all the guests out, get everything all tidied up, and then we're going to do a nice walkthrough episode. We'll ride some of the rides without the guests on. We'll ride all of the coasters. We won't do the go-karts because we can't without guests, but we will do everything else that we can, and we'll enjoy the park, appreciate the build for what it was. I know I like to do it off camera because I think it's turning out really great, but I'd like to take you guys on that journey with me, and we're going to do this right around episode 20. So this is episode 18. We're going to have one more coming out, and then I don't know if I'm going to have any update in this walk around episode. I'm hoping to do it on episode 20, and we'll completely shut it down at the end of that episode. We'll let it go, but what we're going to do is we're going to change the park from a charge per attraction, charge at the attraction, to a charge on entry. We're going to see if we can get it to go. I've not been successful at doing it in Planet Coaster. So we're going to see if we can manage to do it. I also think that'll help our shops, because then people will start buying stuff inside the park. And I think we'll do a little bit better here. Or, well, it'll make it more of a challenge, which is the point of the whole thing. So, one other thing we did, we added in a new ride. We added in the Swift Drifters. We don't really do much in terms of theming for it. I changed the queue line around quite a bit for it, but that's really it. We did get it open to try and draw some more people over, and boy did it work. Because there were a ton of people that ran over to it. We also messed around with the bubble shot queue line, and it took a long time. This is not the final product that you're seeing right here. You're going to see all the mistakes that I've made, all the attempts that I've made to get this to work. It just would not work. I think I do actually get a way that I think works shortly, but I don't think it wasn't very good. Yeah, it does something weird. It wraps around the support, if I remember correctly. But yeah, so I want to hear more from you guys. So I'm really looking for different names of attractions. You'll see later that we never named our kick clip. So any type of names for that. I'm starting to name our entertainers in park. Here is that crazy. I think I come up with a crazy thing here. Yeah, see, it has that curved stairwell, and it just looks kind of weird, but it worked for the moment. So I'm naming our entertainers. So the three that I have in there, you'll see what we name those a little bit later in this episode. But I'm just gonna start naming stuff, really crazy stuff soon. And I think I even do that a little bit in this episode as well. So any suggestions for names, any ideas, even if it's a little off the wall, just let me know. I'll make sure to give a shout out in the next video that I see it. I'm excited to hear them. So please make sure to do that if you have any suggestions for me. So we still have a little bit of our time lapse left. I know I've been talking a lot, and you're probably getting sick of me. But you'll see we just put in a Looney Balloons, and then we left it go. We do come back to that in a little bit, but I wanted to get the curbing done. And the curbing took me quite a bit of time to get just right. I was trying not to go through footers. It looks good. I mean, it's all right. It's a little much for this type of park, but I was looking for something a little different to differentiate the grass from the actual pavement itself, or crazy pavement. And it seemed to work. We do get around here. Doesn't take too much longer. I mean, I only do down to the Bubbles Playground sign that we duplicated in. If you guys have any suggestions for any rides that we want to see, I'm fully open to putting this in as a Let's Play, because we are pretty much past the part of it being a challenge park. I mean, there's really not much more. I'm more or less just going to make it look good. For example, we're putting in barriers to protect the guests that walk underneath. We're adding bubbles that are triggered events as the train goes by. And then we shortly get into adding the bubble shot sign. So if there's any type of video or coaster that you want, I'm open to hearing it. I plan to do one other coaster that I currently have one planned. And it was actually planned to be one of these next few episodes, but with the whole seasons, I am pushing it back a little bit. Just because I want to get the whole season out. I want to get it posted on the Steam Workshop, which I can put it in here. And I think this sign turned out really good, by the way. I wasn't sure how it was going to look. But I think the blue dots turned out to be pretty nice. We duplicated around a couple places too. But yeah, so our what we have coming up here in season 2. So once we get everything else set up and ready to be posted for season 1, season 2 is going to start off with a bang. We're going to add a big roller coaster. When I say big for the park, to the Gulpy Speedway area. It's going to be themed to a vehicle, so you can probably guess which coaster that's going to be. We're also going to add a car ride over in that area. We're going to start adding a few mountains that this car ride goes and drives around in. Nothing too crazy, because I don't want to be terraforming for days or adding in additional items, additional scenery for days, because I already do that, so as it is. We're back to the Looney Balloons. We called this the Bubble Loons, and then I changed it to the Bubble Balloons, and we just kind of ripped the exact same model off of the hot air balloons over by Fireball, but we just kind of decorate it slightly different. I think it turns out pretty nice. It'll look a little bit better as we go, as we start filling things in or around it, should I say. I spend way too much time on the sign itself. I struggle. I bring up Steam, and I eventually get it to be right, but it did take me way too long to work on this. So once we get that coaster in, that coaster is probably going to take up quite a few episodes of what we have going on here. We should be able to expand the park a little bit more than double the size of what it currently is in season 2, though. Assuming my computer can handle it. My computer's certainly struggling at some point. I know I mentioned a little bit later in the live portion that we are potentially going to limit the number of guests, which I don't think that's a bad thing, especially since we're going to charge for guests coming in. We also are taking another stab at our priority pass for Bowl Shot, and it works. And this is actually the final product. We get rid of that cattle pen in there because we're going to add some trees, because I think that'll break up the sight line. It's a little dead at the moment. And right now we're starting to come into the end of the time lapse. We still got a little bit longer, but uh, I wanted to try and get as far as I could, considering I now have a deadline on season 1. And this part I was putting off because I did not want to do the curbing for this stupid pathway. And I'm working on it now. It looks kind of good, but it doesn't match anything else in the area except for the carbonator. Kind of has the same style looping around, and I was like, you know what, it'll still look good when I put bushes and if I put a sign on it or something like that, it'll still look alright. And then I go through all this work of moving all these things down, every last one of them, to the right height, and as soon as I finish, I decided I don't think I want this look anymore. And I do give it a little bit longer. That's right. I do put the blue top down to kind of hide the imperfections there, but I don't think I go much longer here with it. I should be stopping shortly. And I delete the whole thing. Completely delete all of it. And we try again, and I think we come up with a much better option that fits in with the rest of the station. Oh, there it goes. And you know, I started it with the blue instead of the bottom portion, the top portion instead of the bottom, and I think it works out much better. We start using art shapes because they are extremely helpful when you're trying to work with those panel pieces. It's close enough. It looks very similar. I had in a custom fence, which was very annoying and will be very annoying when I work on the exit path. But you can't argue with the way that it looks at the end. And you'll see that here shortly. It just looks so much better than all the other fences in game. Just by duplicating that 2-meter plank up 3 times and then adding some different blues around it, it just seems to work perfectly all the way through. And we find different ways to hide some of the imperfections of the planks, but by duplicating more of those blue pieces. And there's me realizing I was being dumb. And it gets much, much easier here. But we really don't do anything else. Once we complete that, that is the end of the time lapse. And I don't know if you guys have watched enough of my videos yet, but whenever I do a long time lapse like this, you can tell when we're getting to the end of the time lapse by the music that is playing in the background. I always put on a Planko song as the last song. It's not always the same one, but it is one from the game, and we are really starting to get close here, and it's soon going to start to fade away. So I hope you enjoyed this time lapse, and I'm going to sign out, and I'll see you in a live portion. Welcome to the live portion of today's video. I hope you enjoyed the time lapse and the hybrid thing that I'm trying to work on. We'll see if I can continue to do that. But I know I talked about a lot of what my goal was during the time lapse. So we'll just do a quick overview of the things I did. The biggest piece, as my computer tries to kill itself, is going to be the first aid admin building right at the entrance of the park. So oh man, really struggling here. So we have the entrance, but just off to the right once you come in, we have our security command center, which is in this area. And then we added a restroom, our admin building, which would, I guess you would go through the main first aid area. Um, Kind of weird to have admin up there, but I think it kind of breaks it up and kind of sticks out, and I think it works. But then you have our first aid. I decided to put this in, fills in this area pretty nicely, and we needed a first aid because people were throwing up everywhere. So, and you can see people are clearly using it. They're walking over to this side of the park now, which is really, really good to see. And I think it kind of fits pretty well with the entire theme. We got a couple different types. We got bricks, we got cast stone, and we got some wood, which is supposed to be like a metalish style building. So I think it turned out well. Next part, as the computer dies, I think the computer's going to try and survive. We'll see. Okay, there we go. So you'll notice we got some new special effects. A balloon going around here. I wonder if there's something, like if you're allowed to click on them now or what. But as you come through here, we hitch at every possible corner. Oh my gosh, we are just stopping everywhere. Let's just back out and we won't try and do that ground view at the moment. So the scissor ride, you can see we now have a full queue, which is great because I completely deleted the ride, put it back in, put the pathway back in, fix this over here. So that's now considered established, I believe. So we'll have to go take a look at that, and we'll have to do some management for that. We got King Coaster, who's doing a great job entertaining people. We finally were able to switch out our Chief Beef vending machine, which was nice. We'll come back to this area in a little bit. You can see, though, that we do have the Bubble Shot logo, or name, if you will, which is nice. We continue our curbing down along the back end of this path. We also broke the computer again. There we go. Come on. Come on. You can do it. We made this slope much gentler as it comes down. To be an ease. Oh, I forgot to fix some of these things, but that's alright. That's fine for now. We'll come back to that. We did start messing around with the entrance of Bubble Shot. I just tried to do as much as I possibly could in this area, since I missed last week. So that's where that comes down. We do have the fence to catch any loose articles that come off the train. We also have our bubbles that go off as the train goes overhead. We also, and you probably saw a ton of different iterations of our queue line. We found a way to get our priority pass in here, which has made the priority pass much more exciting. We also did a little bit of the queue, which I was really feeling it when I started this, and I quickly found out that I did not enjoy it. So we had to delete it. We did it again. Now it looks very good, but it is time consuming. So that's where we stopped for now. That was the last thing that we did in the time lapse. We also added in a new ride, the Swift Drifters, and that is because I just felt like this area of the park needed something a little bit more. And I thought this ride fit in here nice. We can get it so it's still inside Bubbles Playground over here. This back side, we're not going to do anything to it for right now. As I mentioned in the commentary over the time lapse, we got a whole big different plan coming up here. So we'll kind of pretty much just finish this off, tidy it up a little bit in the next couple episodes. But we're not going to do too much. We'll come back and add some things later in the next season. But right now, we're not going to do too much. We added our bubble shot sign again over here. We also duplicated the Bubbles Playground sign, which is really nice. We finished putting out our pathway over here. We started making the new area, or the new entrance to the new area that's coming eventually. Uh, and yeah, I think everything turned out really good this episode. I'm very happy with the way the first aid building turned out and how the progress on this whole area by bubble shot. Oh, I completely forgot about bubble balloons. Uh, so I just kind of ripped off the same style as hot air balloons, except I made sure I could get that extra O in there. So you can see we have the whole big loony balloon sign, the big hot air balloon, and then the sign, oh, the letters over here to make it go a little bit quicker. Or I don't even know what that meant. It's to show that it's the balloon shop. What am I saying? Anyway, moving on, getting away from my terrible commentary. Uh, so yeah, we just kind of made this up a little bit, debating if I want to put in like a little seating area for people to sit after they ride, with some benches and whatnot. This is probably just going to be filled in with trees. We'll add in some big fences around the sides, because we don't want people to get too close to the roller coaster. But overall, like I said, very happy with the way things have turned out. And I think what I want to do is get straight into our park management, and we're going to turn the camera away from everything for now. Hopefully keep keep everything, keep the frames going for the recording, because I seems to be like that's part of the problem. So anyway, we got 97% happiness. That's fantastic. Our staff is 99% happy. That's great, and I know what that 1% is. That's the problem. Our most profitable ride is Fireball. That will most likely change as Bubble Shot becomes more popular. Most profitable shot is Hot Air Balloons. No surprise there. And our top guest thoughts are fantastic. We don't need to take a look at our graphs, our ticket prices. That will be exciting coming up here. So we'll need to keep an eye on that. We may consider maxing everything out soon, even though I'm only at 1,200 guests. I have increased the piece count a lot, and clearly when I'm moving around, it's a problem. But we'll take a look at that in season 2. Our park rating breakdown. Ride rating is pretty good. Scenery rating is great. Really, there's nothing bad in here at all. Finances. Uh, our rides and tickets tend to be everything that's saving us. Our small attractions are losing us money. No surprise there. Shops and facilities, they are losing us money, but that is mainly because of our hotel's losing a little bit of money. That's going to get a little bit better as more people buy priority passes. Shop and facility running costs. Yikes. I think that's mainly because of facilities. So we're just not pulling in enough. No, we're just losing a lot of money. Anyway, moving on. Park management. We know park management's going to be a pretty big negative number. That's the staff wages and the scenery costs. No big surprise there. Still making $2,000. And yeah, everything's looking good. No loans. Not going to worry about the graphs. No research. No marketing. Our staff. This is always a fun place to be. So let's go down. We are going to actually name our entertainers. King Coaster, he is just having so much fun. Mr. The King himself, he, the King himself is now King Coaster, and he is wandering around our park. Captain Lockjaw, we'll call him. That's not the right place to think. the Oh my, the Meaty Muncher. Oh, that makes me chuckle because that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And the Racing Rex, since he's in the racing area, so that's pretty cool. We'll go ahead and get these guys up to 160 as well. Get them trained up. So that's pretty awesome. Our janitors continue to jump these guys up. We'll get Gerald and Adolfo up to the 4th level of training. Our vendors. Vendors. Anyone? So Vince Rupp is heading to a shop. Curtis Valpare, I think, is a new person. So let's... Okay, let's make sure... Oh, wait. Do we have someone quit on us? I know I didn't train anyone up. So we must have had someone quit. Interesting. I guess we're gonna hire a new person. There you go. Let me click on you. Let us get you into wardrobe, Mr. Moses. You're going to be in the kitty area. And let's get our park management up so we can figure out where Moses is. Moses. There he is, Moses Vincent. We're just going to start charging you charging you. We're going to have you at $95. Jake Werner. Oh, you're graduating because you're in high. So that's good. Everything else is looking pretty good. Our mechanics, they are looking good. Nothing too fancy there. And our security team, he's already at 135. So Nicholas Crow, you don't need to worry about that. We'll just get you trained up. And yeah, our work rosters, we need to change this a little bit. So we are going to add in these two to kitty security, and the kitty area is also going to get that. We don't need this. And we'll save that. So there we go. Let's double check our vendors now. So where do we have 1, 2, 3, 4 people in the kitty area? Oh yeah, he's getting trained, so that's fine. They have one that's really far out here now that they're gonna have to walk to, but they have 1, 2, 3, so that should be fine. They have 4 people there. They should be alright. Hey, King Coaster's or the King himself, sorry, not King Coaster. The King himself is at his great parade with, oh boy, all these people around. Look at that. Look at that. He's doing what he's supposed to do. I know at one point I looked to putting one of those over here, but it just didn't fit right. We'll get another one in somewhere, but not today. Let's go back in here. So our staff is good. Our guests, the teen group still needed they need to eat and they need to drink. The adults are getting tired. The families need to go to the bathroom. That's fine. A lot of people getting thirsty. Priority passer for suckers? I don't know anymore. Now since Bubble Shot's in it, it's pretty decent. We don't have anything. Oh, I stepped in sick. So the first aid's really doing its job, which is great. Graphs, we don't need to worry about that. Our attractions and shops. So, alright. We have a Kickflip 1, which is still named Kickflip 1. We're not going to change that yet. Yes, we are. It's driving me up a wall. It needs to be... It can just be the kickflip. for now. But the kickflip one has got to go. Carbonator. We know that you are now 753, and if you remember, the prestige that I could get earlier on the other one was 222. That was the best that I could get. So this is significantly better. We can now charge $21.50 for this ride. So that's going to make us a ton of money. Swift Drifters. This is at $6.97. So that's going to be $19.50. So that's great. And then also Bubble Shot, I think, is going to change a lot too, because he's at 860 and a lot of scenery around him, so he can charge $24.50. Yeah. So now that is good for Bubble Shot. So all of our rides now are up to par. Carbonator and Swift Drifters are going to drop, but that's fine. We know where they're going to be at in a little bit. Our shops and stalls. So we have the cooling station. We know we're not making money there. Let's take a look here. I don't have enough money, so hopefully we're going to address that in Season 2. Just a memento. We will just call this random shit. No, we won't call it that. I don't know what to call it. We'll just call it random stuff for now. It's just a memento, so that's fine. Bear paw. Oh, let's see how bad. I want to do something fun. That's great. No one likes this shop at all, so that's fantastic. Hopefully that'll get better when people want to buy some random stuff. Bear Paw Eats, they had 100 people. That's because of all the new attractions out here. They actually made money. So we're doing something right with Bear Paw Eats. Everyone needs to use the bathroom after they go there. That's fine. Hot air balloons, we're doing something right clearly with that because we are making money. Information. We will call this priority passes for suckers. That's great. So we'll see. We'll see. We had 2 customers last month. People are starting to buy it though, so that is a good thing. We've lost $20,000 on this, but we have sold almost 1,000. We are selling it for a ridiculously cheap price though. So, yep. Hot Dog House losing money. No surprise there. I don't think there's anything that we're doing wrong. It's just people just don't have enough money to buy stuff from it. Hat's fantastic. Losing money there. I'm never taking this hat off. One thing I do want to change. I noticed a lot of random people walking around with random hats. So we don't want the pirate hat yet. We'll leave the baseball cap. Take the sci-fi helmet off. We'll take that. And we'll leave the special effects baseball cap on. So then we have 3 things that people can buy right now. As we add more stuff, we'll add more hats. So, depending on, like, if we add a pirate area, we'll add the pirate hat. If we add we're not going to add this, but if we added a seasonal area, we'd add the reindeer hat, and the Uncle Sam, and all that stuff. So, a rock hat, that's cool. Just wear a rock. So yeah, so Hat's fantastic. Apparently we're going to leave that one called Hat's Fantastic. I don't think I can come up with anything on the top of my head. Dome protectors. Oh god, how do you spell protector? Protector? Protector. Let's just go with protector. We also scrolled all the way around now. So dome protectors, not making us any money. Vending gulpy machine. We need to change this. This is the Gulpy Speedway Vending 1, and we're just gonna leave these pretty generic. Nothing too crazy here. Gulpy, Speedway, Vending 2, and I did this with the Pip Shot ones too, over by Bubble Shot. So that's fine. There's just no one in this area because I took everyone and put them on the other side with the new ride, so that's to be expected. Our Bubble Shot, Pip Shot, Vending 1 actually made $45. Vending machine, Gulpy 33. Let's see. This is Gulpy gas station vending. Ooh, extra buttons. Alright, so there we go. We will get that. That probably isn't getting any money. Bear Paw eats Pip Shot juice. We're making some money on that. That's exciting. Looks busy, so that's cool. We made a ton of money on the Bubble Shot, the second vending machine. That's great. And bubble balloons, I think this has been closed most of the time. So people haven't been stopping over. I just realized I had special effect balloon, but I only had it for $9. That's not right. So that's losing money. The idea with this one was people are going to be excited getting off this thing. They'll want to stop here and buy a balloon. And it worked with the first one. And I tried to rotate the camera. Bad decision. Okay. Oh, we're stuck in the camera rotation. Let's go ahead and click that out. All right. So yeah, people are buying stuff now. Yeah, you want to buy a balloon? You want to do that? Do it. Buy the balloon. All right. This is an outrageous. Look at all that. Look at all that money they just made. Everyone, this one person bought a red balloon. One person. But that's alright. Special effect balloon, red balloon, all the same. So that's good. That'll start making money. I'm not too concerned about that anymore. Our facilities, we are going to lose money on the restroom. We are not going to charge for that. We are charging for the ATMs, which we're still losing money, but not as much. And our first aid, we're not going to charge money on those. The lockjaw claw, we're losing money there. Coaster crane, let's see. There's no one's saying anything. There's no one near these things. Place. Oh no, I lost. I actually made some money though. The gulpy grab. Yeah, same thing. Boy, we are struggling for frames at the moment. Probably because I'm in the middle of the park. Our hotels. Losing money consistently. We do need to change this. And it's going to put us right back in the middle of the park. Change that to the Golden Nook. And our restaurant, we do have chops, and we are losing a ton of money on chops, but that is fine. I don't know why it's fine, but I don't have any suggestions on how to fix that. So if you have anything, please make sure to let me know, because I am not very good at this. The restaurants, apparently. I'm going to say that it's probably... I bet if I took adult venue off, it would probably do better. Let's do live music. Free condiments. Let's go with that. Free condiments. Hopefully it draws some more people in. It's only 3 stars. I'm pretty sure the other one was doing better. Yeah, you got 4 stars out of the adult venue. Whatever, we're going to leave it at the adult venue then. We'll just continue to lose money. Hopefully people will get hungry and start to use it. Our security management, we are going to make some adjustments in the next few episodes here. Uh, so hopefully I talked about that in the over to the time lapse. Hopefully I remember to do that. We'll see, because I haven't done it yet. Uh, but yeah, we have to add more security cameras. Thefts became an issue around this backside because there's no security cameras. The security guards don't get out this far, so we need to find a way in season 2 to add in a command center somewhere in the middle of the park, maybe over on this side, um, for our security team, just to be able to spread out a little bit. So we will address that in the next couple episodes. But everything else, we don't have any vandalized objects. We don't have any. We have a bunch of special effects, but they're not causing us any problems. And our billboards are fine. So yeah, everything is looking pretty good in terms of the challenge park. We got $421,000. Hopefully the computer doesn't die as I try and get to a decent looking spot with the new stuff in it. But we're slowly starting to get there. Slowly. Ooh, way too low. Way too low. Alright. So, overall, I think this is a really good episode. It's great to be back after being sick and being on vacation. So, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I really appreciate it if you made it all the way through. I appreciate you watching it all. So, again, thanks for watching. If you saw something you like, make sure you leave a like. If you saw something I could have done better, or maybe you just have a different idea, make sure you leave it in the comment section. And if you want to find some more awesome Planet Coaster content, make sure to check out my channel, Mostly Average Matt. We should have things every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, because that's where I put out the most current updates if I'm going to have a video or if I had an issue that prevented me from posting it. So, again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.